Elizabeth Taylor. Her name conjures images of diamonds, velvet gowns, and the unmistakable allure of old Hollywood. But it wasn't just her beauty or acting talent that made her unforgettable. Taylor's love life became one of Hollywood's most scandalous sagas, marked by 8 marriages, countless affairs, and public betrayals. She wasn't merely a starlet. She was a walking controversy, every relationship more dramatic than the last. What makes her story so fascinating is that her romances didn't just play out on the screen. They unfolded in front of the entire world, with every twist and turn captured by the press. Elizabeth Taylor's first marriage to hotel heir Conrad Nicky Hilton seemed like something out of a fairy tale. Hollywood's young darling married into the Hilton dynasty, and MGM, the studio backing her career, transformed the wedding into a glamorous media event. But behind the dazzling veil of diamonds and luxury, the reality was far from perfect. Hilton was violent and verbally abusive, and the fairy tale quickly turned into a nightmare. In less than a year, Taylor's first foray into love ended in divorce, leaving her with deep emotional scars. The end of this marriage set the stage for the turbulent love life that would follow her for decades. After the heartbreak of her first marriage, Taylor sought refuge with British actor Michael Wilding, a man 20 years her senior. Their relationship was far more stable than her previous one. Wilding, with his calm demeanor and maturity, seemed like a grounding force in her whirlwind life. They settled into a quiet, albeit brief, domesticity, marked by the birth of their 2 children. But as Taylor's fame skyrocketed, the couple drifted apart. Wilding, whose career was waning, couldn't keep up with her rising star. Their 5-year marriage ended quietly, without the drama or scandal that would plague her later unions. Taylor's third marriage to movie producer Mike Todd was everything her previous relationships were not: bold, passionate, and full of life. Todd adored Taylor, and their larger-than-life romance captivated Hollywood. It seemed, for a moment, that she had found her true love. But just over a year into their marriage, tragedy struck when Todd was killed in a plane crash. Taylor was devastated, and Hollywood grieved alongside her. However, in the aftermath of this loss, Taylor became entangled in one of her most notorious scandals, a relationship with Todd's close friend, Eddie Fisher, who was married to her best friend, Debbie Reynolds. The affair shook Hollywood to its core, casting Taylor as the villain in a story of betrayal. Elizabeth Taylor's affair with Eddie Fisher became one of Hollywood's most infamous love triangles. Fisher left his wife, the beloved Debbie Reynolds, for Taylor, sparking a media frenzy that painted Taylor as a homewrecker. Reynolds had been America's sweetheart, and the betrayal was seen as unforgivable. The public turned against Taylor, and her image as a glamorous starlet was tarnished. But the relationship with Fisher was doomed from the start. Taylor soon realized that her marriage to Fisher was a mistake, and their divorce came swiftly, bringing another round of public scrutiny. Yet, despite the backlash, Taylor moved on, unapologetic and undeterred. If any relationship defined Elizabeth Taylor's love life, it was her affair with Richard Burton. They met on the set of Cleopatra, and their chemistry was undeniable. The only problem? Both were already married. Their passionate affair became tabloid fodder, making headlines around the world. It was the ultimate Hollywood scandal, 2 of the most famous stars engaging in a very public and very volatile love affair. Their relationship was a roller coaster of breakups, makeups, lavish gifts, and public fights. Burton and Taylor were married twice, and both times their marriages were as dramatic off-screen as their performances were on-screen. It seemed that no amount of passion could save them from the chaos they created together. Between marriages to Burton, Taylor's love life was far from quiet. There were numerous affairs and flings, including rumored romances with British aristocrats and high-profile actors. Though many of these relationships didn't make front-page news, whispers about her entanglements never stopped. Taylor was known for her magnetic presence, and her personal life remained under constant scrutiny. Even in moments of quiet, Taylor's love life was a constant source of speculation. Elizabeth Taylor's 6th marriage to U.S. Senator John Warner was a sharp turn from her previous relationships. She traded Hollywood glamour for the quiet life of a politician's wife in Washington, D.C., But the role didn't suit her. Taylor found herself bored and disillusioned, far removed from the lights and cameras she was used to. As she struggled to fit into Warner's world, she began to spiral, turning to alcohol and pills to cope. The marriage, strained by her growing unhappiness, ended in divorce, and Taylor once again found herself in the public eye for all the wrong reasons. In a final twist, Elizabeth Taylor's eighth and last marriage was to a construction worker named Larry Fortensky, whom she met during a stint in rehab. The unlikely couple became the subject of endless tabloid stories, with many questioning the sincerity of their relationship. But for a brief time, Taylor and Fortensky appeared genuinely happy together. Despite the public scrutiny and the stark differences between their lives, they seemed to find comfort in each other. However, their marriage ended in divorce after 5 years, marking the end of Taylor's turbulent love life. Fortensky was the last of her great loves, and she never remarried. While Taylor's public relationships were already filled with drama, there were plenty of secrets lurking behind the scenes. Hollywood insiders whispered about her rumored affairs with powerful directors, producers, and political figures. These relationships didn't make headlines, but they added to her mystique. Even in her private life, Taylor's romances were the subject of endless fascination, painting her as both a seductress and a victim of her own desires. Elizabeth Taylor's love life, though filled with scandal, betrayal, and heartbreak, ultimately became a defining aspect of her legacy. Her ability to survive, time and time again, through public ridicule and personal tragedy, solidified her status as one of Hollywood's most resilient icons. Taylor's love affairs were just as legendary as her career, and they helped to shape her into the enduring symbol of glamour, strength, and defiance she remains today. Despite the many scandals, Elizabeth Taylor never shied away from love, making her story one of the most captivating in Hollywood history.